Hey folks, I don't know if you can see that. That right there is a cattle trail. Now the one thing I really try to do here on my place is keep cattle trails off and keep things like bare spots around my mineral trough. Try to take care of all of that, keep any of that from happening. Well, it didn't happen on this place. And I'll tell you a couple different things that are against me here. Is one, this is a 20-acre piece of property and I don't have any extra fencing on it. I don't have any electrical fences to put any temporary fence. I don't have anything like that, just one fence all the way around it. You put 30 cows out here, kind of makes a difference. It hadn't been that big of a deal. I've been able to run them in it, let them kind of graze the tops off and run them back off of it. But this time around, what we had was a cow, or well, a bull, I mean. This is another cattle trail. It's not bad. It didn't actually kill the grass. So we're still ahead of the game there, but I'm getting in the shade here. It's kind of hot. But we had a bull that kind of got a limp. He got something stuck in his foot, and anyway, long story short, he did not come across with the other cows, and he has been a booger to catch. Not been very easy. So he's been over here by himself for a little while. So I got all the cows off, but this is what one bull did. One bull just started making cattle trails. And it's just simply because you leave an animal in one spot and they become creatures of nature. I mean of habit, creatures of habit. Well, cattle was meant to roam. They were meant to eat in one spot. Like in nature, the buffalo, they would eat in one spot for like a day, and then they would just move forward, and they would keep on doing that, and they would have large herds. Well, not everyone can completely mimic these patterns, but I think if a person can mimic them to the best of their ability, I think you're going to be a lot better off, rather than trying to just leave them on your place, overgrazing, just cutting everything down and creating trails like here. That would end up being a washout right there. And I'm glad I got it off before it was. But we've had trails that would not, when I first got this place, it would not recover very easily. And places around mineral troughs, just a big circle that was dead. And I just don't like it. I would rather see some growth there, because what happens here, besides the washouts, now this is just a small spot, but when you start getting bare ground, just simply from letting them eat too much grass off your pasture. Like here, you can see I have not let them eat too much grass. I've got a pretty even amount of grass, even though I'm not even controlling them like some people are able to do. But I've left a good 6 inches here. But what that does is, we're in August right now, and I don't claim to be a professional. I'm not. I'm just learning as I go. I've been reading a lot of articles, and I'm just letting you know what's my experience. Well, I live here in Louisiana, and it gets hot. Do you know anything about the South? Well, one thing I have noticed for sure, and I've heard a lot of other people say, is if you let them eat that grass down too far, and they will, what's going to happen is that sun in August is going to start beating down on your grass, on your ground, and actually suck the moisture right up out of it. Well, when you leave some grass here, look at that grass. Shoot, I might have 10 inches or a foot there. Now, it's going to be a little while before we go grazing it again, but I still got plenty of grass left on the ground. And I've actually got a pretty good bit of dead grass here for my microbes. I'm feeding everything in the soil as well. But I didn't leave a lot behind, but I did leave enough to keep the ground covered. And so when you get a bare spot like this right here from a cattle trail, and you get bare spots because you let them overgraze a piece of property, and you do this too much, your ground starts getting weaker and weaker. It won't hold moisture like it's supposed to, and come the middle of summer like this, you're not going to be able to grow any grass. It's going to quit growing. Well, for me, I'm still growing. My grass is still growing, and I'll be feeding. I'll keep on feeding. They're gonna keep on going. So I'm actually getting more out of a piece of property just by doing this right here. Plus, I'm not having to worry about running out of grass. Now, a lot of people are like, well, you're wasting it. You're wasting your grass, you know, but in my opinion, I'd rather have a little bit of extra grass than to not have enough grass. And that's what's going to end up happening if you sit there and let them overgraze and overgraze and overgraze. Your ground's not going to hold water anymore. So this is just some of my thoughts, some of the things I'm implementing. These are not my own ideas. These are things I've learned and read and learned from a lot of other people. And this is just how it's working out for me. So I just wanted to kind of show some of my opinions and how it's working. Thank y'all. Please consider subscribing and like this video. Thanks.